Ready.
Good morning, Dr. Brad.
Oh, Curt.
I'm wearing a t-shirt today, so I didn't feel like getting dressed up this morning. Felt like that kind of thing. Anyway, not that not that I can ever match your sartorial superiority, but anyway. Are you mustache waxed this morning and everything?
Yeah, I'm ready
So
to roll.
and are you caffeinated?
Oh, yes, I have my
And
cat.
you saw patients
Saw
already this
20
morning?
patients today.
You are loaded for bear. I don't know if I'm worthy
Oh my,
of your presence this morning.
I hope so.
All right. So for the audience, today is Sunday, February 11th. This is a working session. That means that Brad and I are actually going to sit here and work through what has to be said. Sometimes these are very productive, and sometimes they are very difficult. But like refining a poem, it seems to be getting, or a program for that matter, it seems to be getting there. Because I've been working for the past hour and a half or so on it, and I'm just like, okay, this is pretty darn good. So we're working on the pamphlet, we're working on the physics, and we are trying to add the fact that there's information in components that are organized into assemblies and into ensembles. And we're trying to get that point across. And I think we did a pretty good job yesterday. As a matter of fact, I thought that was one of our more rapid productions of days. The next concept I want to make sure we get to that is the next stage of refinement is that let's say we were talking about a cell and we were talking about enzymes in a cell, okay?
Okay.
How do we get an enzyme, Brad? How do you know how to tell us how do we get an enzyme?
It's just a protein that's folded up and it is released in response to a need
Right.
by the cell.
So there's a tendency of all of us, because most of our science evolved during the mechanical era.
Hmm.
We haven't quite fully transitioned to the computational era. Is that when we look at an enzyme, we think an enzyme has a function. But an enzyme may actually have more than one function or more than one. It may produce one or more work products on the opposite side, right? Because that's what they do, right? They transform things, right? Inputs and outputs. And so under some conditions, they can produce X, and some conditions they can produce Y. And that may just be what's surrounding them in the environment, right? So they are probabilistic, not deterministic, right? So an enzyme might produce something that is the desired byproduct, and it might produce something that is an arbitrary byproduct. And then some other enzyme might take the arbitrary byproduct and discover that this is something we can transform ourselves into something else. And so in most cases, this sequence appears to be concentration of energy, but not all. It might be concentration of energy for an application, but it certainly appears to be some sort of concentration of energy, which would make sense because any operation would include some loss, right? There would be a lossy
It's
function.
interesting because my understanding of enzymes is there's catalytic and they speed up reactions.
Correct.
Which is interesting because it reduces time consumption.
Okay. So an enzyme is a great example of the expression of time and defeat of entropy. But it's this chain. We've so far been discussing things that are changing and not things that produce outputs that change. And that's the next layer. And I love that you just brought time into it. And so if we finish that, we've got this the internal accumulation process. We have the constructive process, and we have the productive process. In other words, we have the before, during, and after processes in our work here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I want to try to add that into today. So I'm going to see if I can get this. I might have trouble getting my head around this, so we'll try. I went through this, and I always fuss with this initial section because we have, okay, what's causality? What do we start? In other words, what do we start with? Should I start with causality or should I start with existence? I think I have to start with causality, but maybe I should start with existence and then explain what causality is within existence, right?
Since you can't understand causality without having something to cause something, that sounds right to me.
Yes.
And then you can say why we can't explain existence in terms of causality, but we can talk about existence in and of itself as a precursor to causality.
Right. So I've already moved time, but I wanted to just talk about that with you. So I've already moved time, and so I feel we should move causality.
Of course, you're not sharing yet.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
I knew that I should mention it.
It's doing that to me. Why does it keep doing that? What do I got to do to make that not happen? Zoom, share screen. Oh, I have to have the thing lower on the screen. All righty. And then we'll move you over so I can see the button and share the screen.
There we go.
All right. So we have existence.
Yes.
Then we're going to go to causality.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
It's making a sad noise.
It's going to give me a headache. Oh,
There you go.
I was on the wrong screen. All right. So we have the thing, existence. All right. And now I start this with, I could just change this. All existence results of the universe is energy, right? Right. And I would get away from this. So
Yes.
oh, I did it again. I did it again, Brad.
You see that?
Um, okay. So then we take this. Oh, did it again. Good thing we saved last night.
That's right. Hmm.
So should that be the sum? I think that should be the declaration, then proof, or construction, then declaration. Um, no, that's fine the way it is, all right? Cause
Mhm.
I don't remember if this said anything smart. This would be, and therefore. No, like, mm, I just want to let the audience know that Brad didn't come to session today,
Huh?
open session today, with a whole bunch of stuff to talk about.
You're reporting me, are you?
No, I'm just, it doesn't happen. So I'm just acknowledging.
It's a special day.
I feel special.
That reminds me, I do have a story to tell you when we hit the break.
Go ahead. I'm just doing. Go ahead.
No, we're not. I'm not telling the story. No,
Yes, boss.
I'm admiring this fine piece of work.
I feel like it needs to be down here.
That one?
Yeah, this needs to be down there.
Hmm.
It should be there. This is where I was. Find causality. I love how I can get this thing to cheat for me.
Right? Just saves a lot of steps, doesn't it?
I love how they they,
Watching these working sessions is useful to the guys, I think, because just seeing the application of the AI to problems that are of academic nature might be profoundly useful. That was for the audience and not Curt.
well, right now it's giving us all the positions on the use of it within the context, right? Which is really good for you to say, okay, do I have to sit? I could sit here and think through it all by myself.
That's right. It saves time.
Where's Phyllis? Okay.
That's where we are.
No, it doesn't. It only means we just can't measure it. That doesn't mean it's not there.
That's right.
The flow of information we're talking about. Can I say forces? It is forces, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, I can say forces. Yes.
Yes.
Um,
Why doesn't it like discrete? Why does it have green dots under it? There you go.
oh, E's in it. Oh, or did I just mess up the order?
In incorrect order. Hmm.
Entropy.
Yes.
What was I trying to Freudian slip there with?
You were thinking about Islam again.
That's right. Hate these fuzzy words.
I would say is necessary should be substituted for produces.
Give you that.
This tenant is necessary should be this tenant produces.
Well, the tenant's the word. There would be this rule.
This function.
Same thing. Wait.
Hmm. Hmm. All right.
I'm trying to get away from trying to generalize the rule. So
Right.
say causality.
Hmm.
Yeah. This is the problem here.
Hmm.
I think this is not really saved very well.
Yeah. Right. And yep.
Both causality and determinism, right? It's both them.
Yes. Hmm.
We need to answer this question. The universe is a closed system.
Hmm.
Why does atrophy have to come into negative atrophy? I don't understand.
Say that again.
Well, my subconscious keeps going, atrophy, right? Like atrophy.
Oh,
And I'm like, no, that's two different things. Stop.
very different.
Let's reverse it around.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. Do I need to repeat myself?
I think that it's a good sentence.
Get rid of this last one.
No, I think it's a good one. I don't see that I think it provides a value.
Okay. Get rid of that tip down. The conservation.
Would say mass, energy, or momentum. Okay.
Which order do we put them in?
Mass is first. It's interesting how momentum is like energy or information.
Mhm. Mhm. let's ask, what's okay. In physics. In physics, disambiguate. Why can't I spell physics right there?
You can watch.
CS. Please disambiguate conservation laws from symmetries. So I haven't got symmetries worked in there, and I want to make sure I can do it. It used to just do it if you hit enter. Now you got to click the goddamn button.
Oh my. It's a whole extra click.
What's that?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, so it's 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 energy versus form, or noun versus verb. I suppose we need to be clear about this. This is one of those things I can't do. It doesn't let you do.
What's that?
It's just one of those bullet point problems.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are. I just want to do this for me.
I understand.
Okay, so
Symmetry
go
applies
ahead.
to print the operating functions, operations. Conservation applies to the objects.
Correct.
They may be transformed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the symmetries describe the constancy of operations. potential operations. That's it. Now after quantities, I would put mass, energy, information.
If this is energy. I don't know about if it's mass, because mass equals energy only when organized.
Okay, that's fair.
And I would think that this means condition, energy internal. I want to say external, but is that true? Because this is to do the observer. Yeah, this is all the same though. It's external. The more, as we get more precise with this,
Yeah.
it really just amazing to me how much the grammars, if you understand the grammars,
Yes.
how everything starts to fall together.
Yes.
Is it capital? No, it's not capital. Oh, energy, no, we already said energy, all right. External.
Sentence requires punctuation.
Give me a second. I want to make sure. I just hate these weasel words, man. It is just loves. If it does weasel words that much, how much weasel wording is out there in the vernacular, right out there for it to draw from?
Oh yeah, mostly weaseling. What properties? I'm sorry. Say the properties remain unchanged. What properties?
Well, that could be anything. Could be anything. Properties.
Okay. Of
Go ahead.
of what? Anything that exists?
Oh, I see. I see. Oh, I'm gonna have to say the object or entity. Object, entity.
Stable relations,
Well,
stable
yeah,
equilibrium.
the set of stable relations.
Which is they're stable.
I put it in there, right?
Yes, you did.
So this is a kind of how do conservation, it's going to be sophisticated, and symmetry determine limits within physical systems. So I'm not sure. I hope it can understand what I'm asking here. It's all about asking the right question.
That's right.
I am loath to. Do I really need to see? I try to avoid this level.
It seems a little deep.
For, yeah, these are the same.
Yeah.
A coherent framework. That is the what. There's three phrases in there worth talking about.
Okay. That's causality.
Give me 1 second. Is that necessary?
No. There's a universality to that.
Mm-hmm. How do we say it? Conservation laws, okay.
There's like a universal applicability somewhere needs to be mentioned, I think.
It's not right, because we're not necessarily saying we're saying it's not capital.
Right.
We should probably now the question is, why did we get this again? See how we've got our nice spacing?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, except it doesn't fucking work.
You're almost right.
Let's get this here. Let's go this way. Let's do this again. Boom. Now, if we do these two, we should be able to do this and this. And then we should be able to do this. And we get it. Yeah, okay. No, we don't get it. God damn it. Why does this happen to us, Brad?
I don't know.
It's the copy pasta monster.
Oh, that's it.
Okay, so I want to get rid of will you fix that if I do that automatically? Or do I have to do more?
Oh,
Mhm. Okay, I know what to do. Come on, you can do it. You can do it, baby.
oh, huh,
Little hacks we got to do to make everybody happy.
right. There you go.
I still didn't get
Almost right.
space.
Yes.
Why is that doing that? Fine, I'll do it this way.
Hmm.
There we
Okay.
go.
Go back down to the last one. There's a articulation that I have a problem with related to conservation laws and symmetries provide limits to. That was not right.
How did that happen?
I don't know how you did that.
I don't know how I did that. There's just a gremlin in here. There's a gremlin in the machine that says, he just gets as much fun out of messing with you as I do.
Apparently so.
Jesus, Brad, I think we might have finally got that one.
Hmm.
Okay. Given these properties, given the following properties, define time. Mhm, mhm. Look at that. It even can use our language, Brad.
Hmm.
Boy, it's not stupid. If you give it good stuff, it can work with it.
Hmm.
It likes it when we combine stuff, Brad.
Hmm.
Hmm. Jesus, that's fucking beautiful.
Hmm.
Holy shit, it's giving us the whole goddamn thing, isn't it?
It did.
Shit. It's literally given us translation of this. Fundamental. You can't observe it.
Yep. 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 fixed potential. Thank you.
There's your freaking problem.
I'm sorry.
There we go.
Not you, Alexa.
Getting so weird. I was laying in bed earlier and I wanted to roll over and ask Alexa a question like this. I'm like, I can't ask Alexa a question like this, right? But it's becoming a habit. Okay, so it's gone and figured this out, restated this. I don't know if I want to do that. What's going on with this? That's beautiful. It's like, Jesus. We're eventually going to get. Yeah, I don't think I have that. Doesn't add anything. Where's that limit? Oh, here it is. It doesn't add anything.
No.
Oh, might like this.
Yes.
This here, this first sentence.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's minimum, right?
Right. So I would make those the bullet points.
Right. Does this mean anything? That doesn't mean anything.
There
So
you go.
it's sufficient. It's not quite right. It's not right. 0 point, as such time is continuous. Additionally variable. Continuous is a different word. Is
Hmm. Yeah.
mhm.
Hmm.
I don't think that's right. I just want to see if there's I can fit observed in here.
I would make it
Go ahead.
the rate of change of changes in physical systems observed. And observed.
Where's that go? Where's observed go?
Right? They're merely observed. It accounts for that observed in all physical systems.
Is that right? a rate of change that we observe, or what do I mean?
That's fair enough. I think that's observed change, and that's all you need to say.
Okay. Okay, so let's go back up here to this one. Cause. Do we have to say this? Maybe, yeah, I think maybe. Yeah, we should. Seems like this is just totally unnecessary. Am I wrong?
Yes. No, you're correct. Pardon me.
This is what we did yesterday, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's. Fuck you.
That's just crazy what it can do.
Oh, I did. So to say, did I put argon and hydrogen in there? If I
Not at
didn't,
all. It's like quite
that was
interesting.
nice.
Pretty impressed by that.
Mhm. So much helpful if I put our language in first,
Yes.
that has something to work with. Mhm. So, let me think. Oh, this is nice.
Hmm.
Integrate that somehow. Is that redundant, Brad? Do I need the second sentence there?
I'm studying it. Seems redundant.
Yeah. By what? Well, I don't know if we got this too much out of this. Got a nice intro paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. All right. Fuck you. But
No, so I'm studying your system.
well, we got the logic down. If we're just right now, we're just looking for editorial holes.
Right.
And then I've got to figure out how to deal with the next question. Basic premise. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, did the shit. Let's just cut this out. let's oh, gifts out of accidental gifts.
Right. It understood it though.
No, I'm freaking thrilled. It's like it's all depends. Everything depends on what data you put in and what question you ask. It's funny watching lawyers try to use it. I was watching lawyers try to recommend to other lawyers how to use it on the internet.
Okay.
These videos, it's fucking hysterical. It's literally like kindergarten. It's almost intellectually embarrassing. I mean, I have a pretty low opinion of lawyers in the first place, but
I think there's probably something for the guys there, some kind of training program to be had.
you know, the there is, right? But there's literally a cheat sheet you can use, right? That has been around for, I don't know, more than 6 months now.
You know how ridiculous that sounds, right?
What? A cheat
It's
sheet?
been around for like 6 months.
Well,
That's like
I
forever.
understand, but I understand it's nonsense, but it just is. The rate things are changing. It's, that's a
I know,
big
but it's like
absurdity.
the lawyers, the lawyers are just dudes trying to do their job, and it's like to keep up with that is just crazyville to them.
Well, I mean, but if you understand, you have to know what all it's doing is here's what the research says. First of all, let's finish with the lawyers. First, the lawyers have to know what they want in order to get it out. In other words, you can't get new knowledge out of it. You can only get out of it what you ask it for, right? This is basically the problem. Um, However, if we look at users, the less competent you are, the more valuable it is. The more competent you are, the less valuable it is. In other words, other than what I'm doing here, which is editorial review, right? I mean, please put some effort into the fact that I'm a lazy writer at times when I'm sketching ideas down. I mean, might as well be honest. Um, and so, I'm trying to get the basic ideas down, and we're basically doing an editorial pass with it, right? I mean,
That's right.
what clarity could we add to this? So there's not really much of an advantage if you know what you're doing. That's the advantage. Now, what you'll notice is, if I think that we're recording this, right? So this is probably
Yes.
interesting to some people, is they're pivoting on the future of LLMs right now. And they're pivoting for exactly why I said they would, which is that it's a really good user interface. But if you want it to do stuff, right, think of stuff, it's not gonna.
Right.
You've got it, right? And so what we've got is an amazing new leap. It's like the iPhone was a leap in interface technology, right? Right, the touch screen. This is a really big leap in interface technology. Because
Yes.
people forget how hard it was when computers first came out. You had to know all the commands in your head or
That's
look
right.
them up on a cheat sheet, and you had to understand that whatever you did, it would just it would directly do without checking your errors or anything like that.
Right.
And people had a hard time figuring out how to instruct this machine because it's not like a toaster where you press a button and you get toast. You actually have to understand that you got to press a button, turn the electricity on, heat the coils, wait for a certain temperature to arise, and then shut the thing off, and then you have to write all that down discreetly. And people just had a hard time with that originally. Well, it's just what touch screens did is they made computers available to masses, right?
Right.
Because now you don't have to know all that stuff. You can just like a monkey, right? Well, it's the same thing with this shit.
Now I noticed this doing my work because there's technical stuff involved because I make a file and it turns into a PDF and then they have to recover it. And I'm like, the fact that they even can understand the language of that is just simply amazing to me. It's like, wow, we're really moving along at a pretty good clip here.
Yeah. So you can see the future of what they're going to get to first from the consumer side. It's taking advantage of this advancement in user interfaces. Now, there's a device coming out, which I can't remember the name of. It's got a cute little name. It's not Bambi, but it's in that category of simple stuff.
Yes.
Little red box. And
I
they
like
sold
that.
out like in 20 minutes. All right. And
Wow.
you can talk to this box and it'll talk to your phone and tell your phone what to do.
Okay.
And to me, that user interface is really huge, right? The ability to work with it. However, it's not faster to talk to your fucking computer. It's faster to type with your computer. Very few people can actually compose speech
Oh, right. Right.
continuously. If you're a doctor and you get used to leaving notes, you can get pretty good at it, right? But I mean, otherwise, who the hell can do that? I mean, it's not that many people who can speak extemporaneously and produce what would be the equivalent of prose text, right?
A
Organized
coherent,
thought.
right.
So, in any event, what am I really getting to? I'm getting to I love this thing, right? I love this shit, right? And I love specifically that I can ask it in my grammar and it'll give me a freaking answer in my grammar, which
Yes.
means I don't have to always translate between fucking stupid and smart person. Did I just say that out loud?
I won't admit that I heard it.
Anyway, all right. So I've got coffee. I don't have to do anything. I thought I had to get coffee. It was water I was looking for. I got water right there. Okay, I'm okay.
You're okay.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
Notice this that it's
I like
adding.
how it gives that a title.
Let's just capture it for use.
Yes.
See if we find something valuable in it.
Fix whereas while you're there.
Hmm?
Nothing.
How's that?
That's close.
Have I told you I love you lately?
Thank you, Curt.
You really are a canon. We're gonna have to get a sainthood. We're gonna put you up for canonization as a saint because you have more patience than any human being I've ever met.
Really?
Well, you have a lot of it with me.
Oh, that's nice.
Brad's dry humor. Um,
It's interesting it named it.
Mhm. And I think it really understood this.
Certainly has produced something that suggests that.
Oh,
It's beautiful.
Jesus. I would have written a fewer words, but that's pretty good.
Yes.
Possibilities or potentials.
Yes. Potentials is what we've been using. That's a very strange turn of phrase right there. Inviting. It's like, okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Got it before you could say it that time.
I'm holding back. Was really impressed that it wrote the that that passage on the AI. It said the conceptual bridge there with capital.
Yeah, let's cap
That's
that.
just very interesting.
Actually, let's break it down. Do it here.
Hmm. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. That certainly makes it easy.
Hmm.
Uses. but
It's like functionality, functions,
yeah,
potential functions. Um, yeah, that's what I was going to suggest next. Yeah,
no.
yeah,
They don't need to have the. It begs to be stated here,
what's that?
the engine of persistence. I just love this title.
Oh yeah. I'm like, I was impressed by those little titles. Like, wow, that's just crazy impressive.
I'll figure out how to format it in a second. Let's just see
Yeah,
what
yeah,
we've got here. The mechanism. Jesus, that's so beautiful. Jesus, that's fucking gorgeous.
hmm
That bold or not? It's
Hmm. Hmm.
It's also way less draining in my fucking head. I can tell you that.
Right?
It's way less draining.
Hmm.
And people say, what do you mean by unification of the sciences?
That's it right there. Did they say that?
People ask all sorts of questions, and I'm like, I don't fucking know. I was whining to you the other night. Thanks for putting up with my fucking whining. Because I know you're not a fan of whining. Um,
Oh my.
what?
I said, oh my.
No, acknowledge it to the audience because you're not. That's what I was whining to Brad the other night because I'm like, I can't take the social media. I can't take these people anymore. I can't. Brad has an extraordinary stoic. He's a monument to stoicism,
Hmm.
which I really would like to internalize and adapt myself. And you should too. All right. Jesus Christ. I'm like, well, I don't know what's going on in this whatever, how like yesterday it kept crashing because it couldn't handle the context window.
Yes.
Like I hope this context window goes on for a while because this is pretty
It's
useful.
working great. Great.
Am I bothering you, Brad? Are we doing okay?
No, I just had to fix my tie a little bit for the audience and for me.
Jesus, Bryan, that might be my favorite passage now.
Hmm.
Mm,
Hmm.
utility, right?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Okay. Jesus, Brad. Okay, that's pretty damn good. All right, let's go down
Hmm.
to, you okay for a few little while
I am
longer?
good. Yeah, I am.
You sure?
Yep.
I don't want to abuse the luxury of your participation here. In this section, please improve the definition of component. God damn it. In the following, I like this word continue.
Hmm.
Definition of what? Component.
Component.
I wish I could stop doing that. I don't know the difference. Comes out of my fingertips.
Wow. That's a big chunk.
Shit, make it even better. You know, I think it's one of those things where do it 10 times, right?
Yes.
Give it the same thing 10 times, with slightly different questions.
Yeah, refined the, it's like a refining process.
Mhm. What do we got here? So we call this a collection of constant relations, right?
Yeah.
Now, you brought in integrity yesterday, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Can I say it pisses me off that it just agreed with you?
I thought you mentioned it in there. You
If I
wrote
did,
it down, I thought. That's good. I like,
you like that?
yeah.
Oh, it picked up on it, that's why. Thank you.
What do you mean?
It picked up on these terms.
Yes.
That's why it's better. Okay. Well,
I don't know why you wrote regions. That was weird.
we need a problem with this unit.
Yeah.
It has to provide a function. Okay. You know,
That
do you see integrity in here? Because I thought we talked about it.
we did.
Not there though.
Hmm.
In modularity?
Yes, it's down there.
Oh, integrity here.
There you go.
It's got to be in there. I love this fucking thing. So how does integrity relate to symmetry?
Oh, what's interesting about the integrity is like this, is like copies will be able to be substituted in there, right?
Say it again.
That it doesn't matter which one it is, the pattern will provide the service.
Yes.
So copies will be substitutable.
Jesus, this is so beautiful. Wow. We did symmetry already, right?
Yes.
So we can talk about it here. Excellent. Forgot where we were.
Oh, it's above there.
Above this?
Yeah, pulled down.
There we
There
go.
you go.
Not very good. Didn't do a good job on that one.
No, I wasn't impressed.
Okay. A system or object remains invariant under such as reflection. Yeah. Okay, so integrity is a component and symmetry is a system.
The
Okay,
symmetry, the symmetry states that it will perform the same way in the same circumstances at all times. In that niche, environmental conditions.
It means if we change the rotation, the momentum, um, the velocity, it's the moment velocity. I can't remember what they are. Too many things in my head again. Right. And any location under any rotation, regardless of time and regardless of change in the field. So it's regardless of context.
It will perform the same functions given the same environment.
Yes. It's actually an observer. I'm kind of worried about this.
What?
Well, the reason we have symmetry is a problem in the mathematics of measurement. In
Okay.
that in that you always have an observer. And so most math, all advanced math, mean,
Hmm.
even fucking geometry is done by a projection, so that you create a baseline from which you can measure variations from some baseline. And that's what math is, right? And the problem, of course, is the more complex harmonies you get in place, right? What fucking baseline am I working with? Because I gotta calculate this, then the sum of these calculate, which is why quantum mechanics is a pain in the ass. So nobody
Right.
wants to do it. It's an utter pain in the ass because you're quantifying sums, right? I mean, of changes. It's a fucking nightmare. So, but everything is a projection. So when we talk about symmetries, we're talking about an observer effect,
Yes.
right? It's an effect of an observer.
So what it says to me, the symmetry thing says that it doesn't matter from what perspective the observer is observing the object,
Correct.
if it is the same, functionally the same.
Yes. So that's a mathematical principle. So I think we should pull it out.
Where do you want to put it?
I just don't think it belongs in here.
Oh, I see. So you say it's excessive. I think that that's not unreasonable. Because it's like, it's fair, because this is just a pamphlet. It's not meant to be the science.
And we're trying to create, it's like, okay, I don't want to, I mean, I avoid all that stuff. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, these are all true statements. The problem is I think about it in terms um, of geometry, category theory and geometry.
Hmm.
And I'm confusing the fact that that's a symmetry with this symmetry. And I think that's what I'm trying to get to, which is if you can bring two sets of orbitals together, right? What
Right,
happens, of course, is there's a deficiency in this one, a deficiency or a surplus, and they can share this orbit.
right.
And that's why they stick together, is the sharing of these orbitals. I mean, that's the simplest. I don't know how to think about it any other way. It seems obvious. I mean, I can think about it in lots of ways, but that's the only way I can think about it that is expressible in subjectively testable human reducible form. Sorry, I try to avoid talking like that. I'll try.
I was just thinking it, not saying it.
Okay, so I think that symmetry is unnecessary.
To discuss.
I don't think it's useful to discuss it because it has to do with, see, let's think about gauge symmetry. Fundamental in field theory is particular in standard model particle distribution imposes constraints on the type of interactions that can occur between particles. I understand. Leads to conservation of various quantum numbers and particle. Yeah, that's still the same. That's still this. I don't. That one might actually be. How do we describe it? If we describe it as limits, it's okay. I'm sorry. I am.
No, I think this is excessively detailed. You're right.
I feel like it should come out of there.
You're having conflicting waveforms working in your head.
Well, it's like I said. It's because I'm conscious of category, and in some degree, I see these transformations that happen at the subatomic level through that lens.
Right?
Probably the right lens to look at it through. And so I was probably just confusing the gauge symmetry with the category theory, and I mean, it's not my area of expertise, not one of my areas of expertise. So I think this is despite the, yeah, we could simplify this. I like that it's the same everywhere. I like it that it's
It's observer
non-directional.
independent.
Yes. Stated this way, it's worth having.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure I even understand what this. Basically, on local transformations of the fields that describe this system. Okay, that's what I was looking for.
Hmm.
Fields defined over space-time. Requirement for gauge invariance constrains the form of the physical laws describing particle interactions, specifically interactions and dynamics of particles must be constructed in a way that remains invariant under gauge transformations. Makes sense to me. I don't understand why this is so fucking difficult. I mean, I understand, if we go through the hierarchy, what gauge theory is, but I mean, which is fucking from my standpoint, fucking nightmare. Um, but was concerned with it. Governing forces of this significantly restricts and allows equations governing the forces of so what? The imposition of gauge symmetry on quantum field theories leads to the prediction of force carrying particles known as gauge bosons, for example. Yeah. That doesn't mean that predictions of the existence of photon. Predicts similar gauge symmetries of the weak and strong forces. Yeah, I know that, but these predictions are not arbitrary to rise to the necessity to maintain gauge invariance across the transformation of fields. Yeah, but what does that mean? Gauge invariance. Invariance of a physical system. Define what I'm okay. Let me give us. I got to get simple words for this. Define what? I had it. Independent of your environment. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. No.
Hmm. Hmm.
I use good manners with it. It doesn't seem
I
to.
do too, which is silly, isn't it? Then it treats me with more respect. Whoa. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Don't. It's just, yeah, I gotta find a better way. You know, there's a lot of stuff in math that if you just operate, I mean, this is what Michael does, right?
All right.
Michael just says, what's going on here is really simple. It's just got a lot of really goofy words. I remember, I remember talking to, let's compliment the dead. One of my business partner back in Boston, who was, taught at Harvard. He was a very smart guy. Unfortunately, became an alcoholic and it ruined him. But anyway,
Hmm.
I knew him when he was recovering.
Hmm.
Which is why he was crazy enough to be in a business with me, for Christ's sake. Okay. All right, let's just overlook that possibility. He says, Curt, you guys talk he was talking about computer scientists. You guys talk in this like language like you're a bunch of monks, but what you're actually talking about is really, really simple. And I'm like, yeah, I understand. It's just like in law, what you're talking about is really, really simple, but you have this archaic vocabulary that you bring to everything. So it sounds really complex and sophisticated to people, but in the end, it's just, did you this is my shit and that's your shit, and I promise you that I will do this with my shit to affect your shit, and yours will do, and that will both of our shits will be better afterwards. I mean, that's
Right.
that's all
That's it.
going on.
Just operations, right?
It's just really simple. I want, my gut is to leave this, but I feel like we're very, very close. So if you'll sit with me, I'm okay. Is that all
Yeah,
right?
I'm good.
You sure?
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't know why this is so important. It's like, so symmetry, when you talk about um conservation, rules of conservation, you're making a statement that any operation, the energy in any set of operations will be preserved. Right? There's nowhere for the energy has to go somewhere.
That's right.
So you can't ignore that energy, right?
Right.
And this is like, well, if you can't, if you do stuff here inside this thing, it won't affect the laws of the universe.
Right. No matter how you look at it.
No matter how you do it. And I'm like, well, that's fucking obvious. I don't understand. You know, and I know that in the mathematics of measurement, it's probably useful for them. But I just don't get it here.
In my mind, it's like this. It's
All it
reasonable.
says those laws are invariant. You know, go ahead.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. I think it's sufficient to say it, and you want it to be complete, which is why you put it in. And it's like, okay, now it's in, and it's as significant as you make it later. Does that make sense? It gets a mention. It doesn't need to be detailed out.
No, okay. So what you're saying is this is clear enough, right? This definition is
Yeah,
clear.
that's sufficient. It's like,
And we don't need to take it out.
Anybody who's curious about symmetry will be satisfied that symmetry has been addressed.
Okay, great. Thank you. Oh, sorry to drag you through that, Brad.
That's why I'm here, brother. Now did you add you added the integrity to that one.
Yeah. Let's go back up here. So I asked the question, what is the relationship between integrity and symmetry?
Right.
I don't think they have anything. I don't think they have anything to do with each other. We could say, what is
integrity? Integrity means that the thing that we're talking about, the integrity that we're talking about, will behave in the same fashion in all conditions, given those conditions.
Symmetry says the laws of the universe are going to be consistent.
Right. And the integrity is consistent pattern inside that frame and will always behave in the same fashion given the same conditions.
We have determinism.
Yes.
Conservation. Symmetry. Or the other way around. Right? That's the law, right? That's the.
Yes.
That's right.
But determinism is causality, yeah.
Well, that's one of those great things.
Great things. It's okay.
What's the difference between determinism and causality?
Well, it's like, because we used the term causality before, not determinism. Okay.
Right? That's a regularity.
Yes. It means it's rational.
Right. So it's other words. Right. Right.
Possibility is a weird word to use there. It's interesting.
Well, rationality, well, it's possible. Right? If that wasn't true, you couldn't be rational. Is that true? Not all
I
of
don't
them.
think it is. It's not possible. It's determined. It's a determined function, in my opinion.
Mhm.
It's a demonstration of rationality.
Did it again? Oops.
I know what to do.
I don't know why this gives me such a hard time, Brad.
It does give you a hard time. I'm like, okay, it's just functionally interesting.
But I want to do this.
Yes. Integrity is the constituent, right? There's a constituency in there. It's a constituent.
I don't know what that means.
Because this is just beneath, we're just talking about constituents.
Oh, components.
Components, I'm sorry, I apologize. Yes,
This.
I like that. I don't know what word to use there. Yeah. Well, conservation is mass, isn't it? Or energy.
That was good.
Hmm. I would knock it out to one more. I guess that's good.
No, it's a therefore.
Because we're getting to this gauge thing here. Because constituent, assembly, ensemble is gauge, scale.
No,
Huh.
I get where you're at.
You're in denial right now, and I'm okay with that.
Why do I love it when you do this?
It's okay. You'll get over it.
Why do I love it? I don't understand.
No sooner. You'll know sooner than you'll prove it in your own head. Now there's two spaces in between them.
I know.
Damn it.
Figure out where it is up here. That was
Highlight them and then list without spaces.
We got it.
It didn't fix that components.
Well, this is because this one's here.
Okay.
So why is this one not? What's here? Formats, none. Formats. I'm gonna do list without space, and then I'm gonna do list, turn it off, and then I'm gonna do format. Oh, I know why. Duh. It just hung up on me. If it crashes, I'm gonna cry. I'm just letting you
Oh
know.
my God, we didn't save it yet. Oh,
You see that?
I did see that.
1 second.
Oh my Lord. It's like watching a football game.
Very depressing. You know, why does unwrapping a battery sound like a condom wrapper?
I don't know. That's like a riddle.
Hell, why can't I get this open? There we go. We have a problem here, Brad.
Yes, sir.
We have a little battery problem here.
Okay.
Everything else is rechargeable, but this goddamn thing.
Oh,
There we go.
ah,
Oops. Can I grab coffee while I'm up?
of course.
Did I start the recording? Please tell me it's recording.
It's recording.
It is?
Yeah, we've been recording.
Good. Yeah, I'm going to pause for 30 seconds here. All right.
All right.
Resume. I think this is that difficult thing that I can't get right. That I can't figure out how to do. Here it is. It's always on the other side.
Yes.
More. Pause recording. Shift command.
Back again.
Well, so you know, you're just saying that it's our work is generalizable at all scales. I actually think it makes stuff like physics and math way easier.
Well, it does, and I will relate it back to our immediately past conversation regarding the gauge, because you're providing the gauge.
I'd have to think about that, but I'm going to trust your judgment because you're so wise and insightful and always right, and I have to apologize for you being right.
Well,
I
after you
recognize
figure it
you're right
out.
all the time.
But I
Okay,
think
so-
that what we're doing is providing the gauge, we're demonstrating the gauge symmetry at all scales.
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, that's interesting.
See?
Okay, that didn't work. So that's at that level, all right? So if I go at this level and I say
Yeah.
formats,
No space.
list without space,
Didn't do it.
didn't do anything.
I think you have to highlight all those bullet points.
Because oh yeah, no. If I go here, I should go formats, and remove that. And then it should remove anything that's down there, but it doesn't. So what's happening is there's something else here. And it takes place here.
Huh.
So, right, because this is the paragraph, right, that determines the behavior of these paragraphs,
Okay.
right? And these paragraphs determine, like if I go here, right? Right, but if I went list without space, it doesn't want to see something blocking it up there. Well, it can go to hell.
Okay.
Do I need the bullet point there?
Where?
Recombination. I think this might be indented one too many. No? Accumulation, bullet points. Recombination. Little synthesis. Okay, let's go back to here, and I'll worry about the spacing later. Let's see if we can deal with, let's see if we've got everything over here on component. Symmetry. It's this one here. I'm gonna move Brad's head over there. Hi, Brad. Now you're over
Hello.
there. We got integrity. Do we have emergence? No.
That goes under functionality.
Yep. Is it one? Should we replace the word here with emergence?
Hmm.
I think that's
I
what we
think
do.
so.
Yeah. Role. Potential. Potential. I don't know. Have we got adaptation somewhere already? We got adaptation here already, right? So I can do adaptation.
Okay. Hmm.
Needed. Is this sentence needed?
Sounds what?
Is this sentence needed?
Yeah, no.
You sure?
It's descriptive of what follows, but it's somewhat redundant.
Okay.
I would say the component's intrinsic properties dictate how they can combine and react. Creating opportunities for innovation and adaptation. I don't know about evolve in there.
Yeah, I don't like it either. That's my main objection.
I think you just take that out. It's just, and they don't really adapt. They just react. I would say their ability to
Call it
recombine.
adaptation.
What's that?
Well, the heading is adaptation.
Say that again.
We're defining adaptation.
But the components don't change unless they change at the causal level of the adaptation above.
I don't know if that's true, Brad. I mean,
I'm
because
thinking about it.
that's one of the things we want to address is that they do.
They may adapt to their own niche, but that applies at the causal level below the assembly.
All right, let's take the enzymes we were talking about today.
Okay. I would say consider the lily.
Consider the lily. What's that
It's
from?
from A Life of Bryan.
That's what it is.
Sorry.
So let's go back to the enzyme. If this enzyme XYZ gets is replicated because it survives because it makes use, it translates ABC into DEF, right?
Right.
But it also can translate ABC into GHI.
Okay.
Right? And it turns out that it can have a mutation that will allow it to respond to produce what's after a GHI? JKL.
Okay. Right.
Right? And so it can evolve the capacity to those three. Now it turns out, oddly enough, JKL is an accelerant, which is what you were trying to bring up in time, but an accelerant to this other enzyme.
Yep.
This other enzyme hadn't previously encountered JKL, but now it does. And so now it can modify and now it can transform JKL to, which produces whatever energy source this cell needs faster than it did before. So that doesn't violate integrity.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
yes,
So can I leave this in here?
I think so.
I love this one.
Yes. That's interactivity, yeah.
Yep, I'm just trying to make sure there's not if we've missed anything. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't think we need to. And how did I ask the question? I asked it like that. That's all fine. All right, so I think the next thing we need to deal with is this one down here. No, where is it? This here. I'm going to assume that you've done for the day.
Close.
Yep. So we'll pick up with cascades of causality, right?
Right.
What's the matter? You okay?
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm good with that.
Stop share. Back at normal scale. I'm sorry if I wore you out, Brad.
No, we did good work. I was impressed by the work.
We did good work today. I'm gonna maybe play with this a little bit more. Anyway, thank you for all you do. Am I gonna hear from you next couple of days?
Of course.
Okay, because I really, I sort of liked. I mean, I'm going to start initiating contact here.
Oh my.
Oh, all right. Do your thing, please.
Wait, we're gonna chat in a minute. But
Okay.
first, hit like and do please hit subscribe. And don't forget the notification bell. And do leave your comments. We will enjoy watching them and reading them and reacting to them.
Yes, we do. Although, yeah, I don't want to say anything. Some comments have been annoying me of late.
Oh my.
No, it should just please ask questions. Don't assume, criticize as if you it's more likely that you misunderstand than I'm making an error here. I'm sorry if it sounds that way, but it just is that way. And I don't like answering. I'm getting to the point where I don't want to answer the questions anymore. All right. So if you have a criticism, it seems like you have a criticism and disagreement. Ask the question, right? Don't make the accusation. Because I just
That
don't.
sounds nice.
It's just, I mean, if you're right, I'll say you're right. I mean, I do it all the time, right? But most of the time when people are giving some of these criticisms, one in particular that's bothering me right at the moment, I'm like, look, guys, I'm not wrong. It's just that's the argumentative path I'm using, and your preference is something over there. Anyway.
All right. Thanks, Curt.
All right. I love you, Dr. Brad. So we're just going to stop this recording. It's been Sunday, February 11th, 2024. Thanks all for watching.